Brilliant, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for having us today. It's great to be here. Great to see so many councils represented. So as the slide says, I'm Joe Ray. I'm the exec lead for UK Local Government at Amazon Web Services. And prior to joining AWS just over a year ago, I actually worked in local government for over 10 years. So I can feel your pain. I know what you're going through. But what is Amazon Web Services? I'm guessing a lot of you already know this, but I'm kind of obligated just to quickly explain who we are. We are part of Amazon. We were founded in 2006. By that point, Amazon had existed for over 10 years. And we realized we'd gotten very, very good at supporting a big website like Amazon.com. And we created a lot of capability around computing, which then became cloud computing. So we ran that for, like I say, over 10 years for ourselves. Then we started offering it to customers. And there's a phrase that we use, which is undifferentiated heavy lifting. Sounds incredibly boring, but what it means is all of the stuff that you don't want to do, like racking and stacking servers, we are very good at it. One of the other things I want to just quickly mention at this point is that we also work with a very large partner network, some of whom are actually in the room today. And I'll come back to a few of those partners as we go through some of the case studies I want to talk to you about. So we got really, really good at running some of the core infrastructure associated with things like servers and networking. But then we also innovated and innovated in a big way. And we've now got to the point where the AWS Cloud Services offers over 200 fully featured services. This includes things like computing, storage, networking, databases, Internet of Things, AI, and machine learning. So pretty much whatever you want to do, we have got the tools to do it. But that can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're used to working in a slightly more traditional IT estate. So one of the things that we've done at AWS is work specifically around local government to try to understand how we can help you and how we can help you meet the challenges, not only internally, but of your own customers, residents, and service users. So we've developed these 4 key principles of how we work with our customers. The big thing on there is customer obsession. As an organization, not just Amazon Web Services, all of Amazon, we are relentlessly customer obsessed. I know it sounds like the kind of thing someone from a big American corporation would say, but it is genuinely true. We are completely obsessed by making our customers' lives as good and as fulfilling as possible, and that carries through to what we do in terms of our work with local government. We also have a dedicated team of account managers and solution architects who work specifically with local government. As I've already mentioned, we've got a partner network that focuses on local government too. And we have people like me who don't work directly in the local government team, but that we can call on to augment that capacity and capability. So what does all of that mean in practice? How does any of that actually translate to making lives better and changing things for the residents that you all serve? So I want to talk you through a few different case studies, and I'll start with Hackney. Hackney Council are a really interesting case study for AWS for lots of reasons. You may be aware, they suffered a really significant cyber attack at the end of 2020 going into 2021. And they decided after that point to then go all in and migrate to the AWS cloud because they realized and they identified that the cloud is more secure than on-prem. But there are also other benefits to them doing that as well as making that more secure for them. They also made significant savings. They estimate that they've saved around 60% in terms of their core infrastructure operations by making that migration. And they've also increased the availability of their core applications. They've also done some really interesting stuff around specific services. And this example that I've put up here is about how they helped the most vulnerable people at an incredibly critical time during the pandemic. At that point, I still worked in local government, and I'm guessing some of you will have experienced this, where at the time, central government gave us massive piles of data relating to people who may or may not be vulnerable, shielding, or in need of extra assistance. Hackney were confronted with 500 CSV files of over 1 million rows of data that did not have any easy way of sorting, aggregating, or identifying it. They knew that they needed to find a way to use that data effectively because they needed to reach those people who might not be on an official shielding list, but who needed extra support during this critical time. So using services like Amazon Athena and Amazon Redshift and DynamoDB, they built in 2 days a fully fledged solution that allowed them to identify over 5,000 households and reach out to 1,000 individuals who could be in need of extra support. And that was also the starting point for a broader piece of data work that continues to this day, that's allowed them as a launch pad to look at their data and how they can use it and integrate it more effectively. Another great example of the work that we do in a variety of settings, and actually ties into the previous speaker, is around the work that one of our partners, MySense, did with South Warwickshire NHS. Now, this particular example looks at the most vulnerable cohort of people that local authorities and health services tend to deal with, which is people with dementia. And as you can see on screen there, the statistics of the tangible results that they achieved by using this system, which combined in-home sensor technology with artificial intelligence and machine learning tech to ensure that that sensor information was being analysed in real time to work out where interventions might be needed earlier, has allowed them to realise really significant tangible results. It's not shown there, but it also achieved some really significant savings, and it also allowed the people in this cohort of patients, it was evidence that they were getting months of additional self-supported independent living at home before having to move into a care home setting. So this has made a really tangible difference to people's lives. We've got some great anecdotes of how it affected specific individuals, but I don't think we've got the time today. But it's one of the biggest impacts in terms of that most vulnerable cohort of people. This one is an example of something a little bit more prosaic. I think if you work in a local authority setting, you will all be used to the thousands of forms that come through, either electronically or quite often actually in writing, whether that be printouts, PDFs that have been printed out and written on, handwriting. And this particular council, which is a district council in the southeast, worked with one of our partners to look at this massive influx of forms that they were getting for applications to a whole range of different council services, so people applying for things like blue badge parking. What they found was that they were spending an inordinate amount of officer time, not on the actual value-adding stuff of deciding whether the application was valid and the person should be granted the thing they were applying for, but just on working out, was the right data there? Were the right fields completed? Was the supporting image attached the right way up and therefore recognisable within their system? By working with a partner, they use a range of different services to automate that part of the process. So the value-adding decision-making still retains with human beings, but the stuff about is the form containing the right information, that was fully automated using services like Amazon Comprehend and Amazon Text Track, which can take information from a range of different written forms and put it immediately into a system. So this allowed them to process thousands of forms far quicker. As it says there, they made £40,000 worth of savings made per year, but it also improved the accuracy as well. So by doing it in this automated way, it actually delivered a better service quality at the same time. On a similar theme is the great work that they've been doing in Swindon. Again, this is dealing with some of the perennial challenges that as local authority employees you will all hear about, especially from your elected members, because this particular solution deals with fly tipping. And one of the things they really wanted to address was the speed and the accuracy with which resources were being deployed from a citizen reporting an incident of fly tipping to actually being dealt with and cleared up. And what they've done here is used a variety of different AWS tools to allow residents to report a fly tipping incident using pictures, which then go into the system. The system itself automatically sorts and identifies and recognises what that picture is showing. Even if it shows multiple items, it's able to differentiate between them and recognise what each of those items are. And then it makes decisions about allocating relevant resources, personnel, types of vehicle to that to ensure that it's cleared up as quickly as possible, but by the right people. And it also does things like really intelligent route planning to maximise the efficiency of that service. The thing that I like most about it, apart from the fact that it got 98% positive feedback from the citizens who've been using this service, is also that it prioritises really cleverly what gets picked up first. So if really dangerous or hazardous waste has been left in a really inappropriate place, so for example, if a bunch of hypodermic needles were fly tipped outside of a school, this system would recognise that and prioritise the collection of that waste over other things to ensure that safety was maintained. There's also another really interesting case study in Swindon as well, which is around, again, using the Translate service that AWS offers to use a machine learning approach to translation, which has made significant savings, but also significant time savings as well. So by using this, they have gone from £159, 81p, very specific, for each document translated in this particular part of their council activity to 7p. And they've also gone from 3 days to 14 minutes on average to complete those translations. So again, by harnessing the power of automation, they've really been able to make significant savings. And again, they've been able to improve the experience for their customer who are getting a quicker service as a result of it. That really is just the iceberg of the activity that we've got going on in Amazon Web Services and working with our customers and our partners. We've got loads of other stuff that we're currently working on. Adult social care is a really big priority area for us now, as I'm sure it is for you. And again, that's an example of us being led by the customer because it's such a big priority for our customers. It's something we want to be able to help with. We're continuing lots of different examples of automating the value-adding activity, which again ties into the previous conversation. And one of the other big challenges that we know and recognise that you face is how we can integrate legacy systems and make the best use of the data that you've all got but aren't always able to analyse in the way that you would like. I've got no idea where I am on time, but that is me. Almost. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Joe. That was brilliant.